What's up out there? How you doing? Jeff D, AIMCHealthSolutions.com for your health and wellness video for you on the first week of January 2026. So before we get started, how are those New Year's resolutions going? Well, old saying is resolutions last 2 weeks, and then the rest of the time people drop those resolutions. So let's be good out there and get those going. So everyone out there, have you ever heard of a very important health and wellness reading called BMI, Body Mass Index? So it's a good way to understand if you're overweight and if you need to address any type of weight issues. And usually it's interesting how it works, how it measures your body mass index according to your height and then what you weigh, and then determines if you are overweight or even obese or whatever. So, it's a simple, useful screening tool, based on height and weight, but it's imperfect. It's a perfect measure because it doesn't distinguish between fat and muscle, or it doesn't take into account race, age, or sex, leading to miscalculations for athletes, older adults, and diverse ethnic groups. Now, that's a lot. A lot of times a high BMI is correlated with higher risk for conditions like diabetes, heart disease. So, but your health is complex. So doctors usually recommend using BMI alongside other factors like your waist circumference, body composition, diet, and activity levels. So what is it? What's the strength of your BMI set? It's very simple. The screening is simple. It's easy and inexpensive to calculate. We have a great BMI tool here on the AIMCHealthSolutions.com website that you can try out. It's a good first step to understand if you do have any potential weight issues or any health risks. Usually, it identifies risks like a U-shaped curve would show very high, very low, or very high BMI ratings linked to poor health conditions. And also, population health. So what happens is, for most people, it accurately flags those with increased risk of obesity related diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Where does BMI fall short? Well, BMI falls short. So here's the weaknesses. You don't know, like a lot of times a muscular person is heavier. Muscle is actually heavier than fat. So athletes with high muscle mass or a strength trainer will have a high BMI rating. But, it appears, under the covers that they're obese or overweight. But in fact, they're very fit. The BMI rating doesn't see body composition. It doesn't measure body fat percentage or bone density where fat is stored. So in other words, your bones could be heavy, but you could be very strong. You could, like I said, if you have high muscle and bone density, you're going to appear to be a lot heavier, and your BMI rating is going to be higher. Of course, there's also racial and ethnic differences. Cutoffs are historically based on white populations, people of Asian descent, and may have, for example, may have higher health risks at lower BMI. So the BMI doesn't show like if those groups have a health risk or not. And then, of course, body fat distributions change with your age. Of course, as you get older, your body fat usually goes up. But does BMI really catch that? But the modern approach, and we talk about this a lot with our Go Trim system, as well as all our health and wellness, where you incorporate supplementation, diet, exercise and fitness, and education and mindset. It's beyond BMI. Your body composition measures waist circumference. Doesn't really do that, right? Your lifestyle, activity levels. We talk about diet, smoking, and sleep, and having great sleep habits. And of course, I hope a lot of you don't smoke out there. And then other health markers like blood pressure, cholesterol levels, glucose levels, and family history really will give you a better picture of your health versus a BMI reading. So bottom line, don't rely on BMI alone. It's a great tool, and of course I'll put a link here. You can see what your BMI rating is. But a holistic view of your health and incorporating fitness and body composition provides a much clearer picture for you. But like the old saying, right? You got to start somewhere, and let's start with that. And if you have any questions with your BMI reading, let us know. This is Jeff D, AIMC, HealthSolutions.com. Have a great day and be healthy.